Yep, so this is going to be an introduction video on Minish Cap speedrunning. This is my submission video for ESA 2022, the summer marathon. Yeah, so back in 2021, this game got kind of broken in half. Solidified Gaming came along and discovered a bunch of glitches which are used throughout the run and save like 10 minutes. I'm going to be showing off most of them. There is one which is not marathon safe, so I'm not going to do it. But it's done in the current world record run. Also, about 2.5 to 3 years ago, there was another glitch discovered which never managed to get into a marathon because the last major appearance of Minish Cap was at Games Done Quick 2019, and literally like a month later, this glitch got discovered. I'm gonna quickly jump to show the locations where these things are as a nice highlight for you to look forward to when we start going through the run, and then like after I've like pointed out where these things are, rough time estimates of when they're going to be, as nice highlight points of the run to go and jump to if you're curious. But then we will go back to the beginning and do a full run through of the game from start to finish. So the first big glitch that we do is going to be in the second dungeon, Cave of Flames, and this is called Angle Retention. So it's going to be at this location here, and it's going to involve this pillar here. It's going to happen around 31 to 32 minutes in. I'm not going to show it here. You can watch. You can jump to the time in the run. Just go to where the time is about 31, 32. Hopefully, fingers crossed, if my run isn't atrocious, should be around about there that we start doing this. From this point on, throughout the rest of the dungeon, it's really worthwhile just watching all of it. It's super cool. When we leave the dungeon, we're going to do another trick. We'll leave the dungeon and then start climbing back down the mountain to this spot here. Yes, so this is going to happen at around the like 38-minute mark, roughly around there. But basically when we're over here, and we're going to do stuff with this sign, and we're going to do a bunch of other stuff. So this is like the second big trick. The third one is when we get to the swamp. It's going to be around about 43 minutes in, and it's going to be in the swamp here. So when we're doing stuff in the swamp here, this is really cool to look at. And so from here all the way through to the next dungeon is going to be another like highlight section. Also, the next dungeon that we're going to arrive in is going to be called Fortress of Winds. It's basically going to follow through from swamp into Fortress of Winds. All of Fortress of Winds is really cool. So check that out as well. So that's going to be around about like 45 to 50 minutes in. There's a nice chunk in there that we're doing a lot of stuff. So it's going to be this dungeon. This is Fortress of Winds. We're going to be doing stuff from the beginning of the dungeon, and it's mostly going to involve this room here. All of the stuff in this room is super cool. Check it out. So around about the hour mark, hopefully just before the hour mark, but it may be slightly over that, we're going to be doing a trick here. Involving this to get to the next dungeon, Temple of Droplets, which is in the middle of lake. This is a cool trick. And then the stuff in the dungeon, Temple of Droplets, this icy dungeon, is going to be cool as well. Like pretty much everything in here. And this should be roughly the 1 hour to 1 hour 5 range, somewhere in there. We're going to go through like this tornado thing, and we're going to end up over here. This is like the 111, 112 range, and it's going to range through to like 1 hour 17, 1 hour 18 in, or something like that. But yeah, basically everything in this dungeon is really cool. It's super fun. It's a great highlight of the video. Basically from everything in like this dungeon is going to be really cool as well. So yeah, those are the like main highlights of the run. All right, let's get going then. Okay, so I've already got a fresh file created and ready to go. We start the run with a hard reset, mainly because I'm playing on an emulator, so we use that as part of the verification process that it actually shows the Game Boy logo there. And hold on, I'm so used to the auto tracker, I just assumed that the timer was going to start. I'll actually start the timer this time. There we go. Right, and we're off. So, yeah, so I did a hard reset there. This game's RNG system is, well, it's a Game Boy Advance game. So, it's actually a really simple RNG system where there's just one value in memory, which is the RNG number, and that advances over time. It advances depending on like certain things that happen, but essentially during the intro it's always going to advance the same amount. So as long as we do the same set of actions, we're going to get the same results in the end. And there are a lot of RNG manipulations that we're going to do later on in the run where we do a reset. Basically everywhere that we do a reset, the following movement is extremely rehearsed and practiced to be as consistent as possible. And we're just going to get like item drops and enemy movements to perfectly align up with what we want. So we do it at the beginning here just because we want to get a rupee. I should get off of my chat box. Because I do play on a keyboard as well as a controller. So 1, 2. 2 rolls, and that aligns the RNG up perfectly here. So I play the game with 2 different control methods. I play it with a controller, and I play it with a keyboard. The keyboard is for precise control and basically like 90% of the gameplay. I'm going to play with the keyboard because it's just a much more comfortable control scheme for me in terms of like accuracy and precision with moving Link around. We're going to be doing a lot of rolling, and we try and do rolls like nearly like the frame that Link has finished the previous roll. But at other sections of the run, like here, there's a lot of text mashing, where we need to hold down a button and then mash directions and mash a bunch of other buttons to advance text. And it's really comfortable for me to use a controller to do that. Like here. Like here, I can put like very minimal effort into it. And it's like, I think it's just a really good thing in speedrunning for people to adopt like more comfortable control schemes to like protect their general health with speedrunning. You don't want to be using an uncomfortable control scheme that is going to give you like RSI over extended use. Try and play as comfortably as you can. If you've got like 2 different controllers that you just like swap between for that purpose, then go ahead. So what's going on in the story right now is like there's a festival going on, and Zelda's our best friend, and she's asking us to like come and hang out in the festival. And we're going to go up to the castle now to go see like an award ceremony for I can't remember exactly. It's like maybe was it a jousting competition or some kind of like sword fighting competition, and the winner is going to be given like is being presented with this sword, and it turns out, oh no, it's this guy. Is it just a general sword fighting thing? Yeah. So here's Vati, here's the main villain of the game. He's gonna use magic to just wreck everyone. So that was the Picori blade, and that he just broke, and it's opened this box, and it's gonna unleash all of the nasty evils into the world. And fun fact, this game actually doesn't spawn any enemies into areas until you watch this cutscene. That's a fun fact. One of the flags that gets set by this cutscene is to make enemies spawn. So like the game code actually matches up with the the lore somewhat here, which is interesting. So now, like, we got knocked unconscious and woken up, but we're gonna head over to the see what everyone's talking about. And pretty much what they say is, like, they're gonna send out all of the guards to look for Vati to try and catch him so that they can, because Zelda got turned to stone. But in the meantime, we've been sent with a sword to go and track down the Minish from, like, the title of this game, which are a race of tiny, small people. That can be found in the forest, but only children can see them, so that's why we've been sent. And here's where the gameplay really starts to begin. So we're going to have to head over across the Hyrule Field and head to Minish Woods. So one of the main gameplay features is that enemies are going to move around the rooms basically randomly, and we want to try and avoid them as much as possible. And one of the really good uses of like movement in this game is rolling. Rolling gives us invulnerability in the middle of our roll, so we can use that to avoid a lot of the enemies, but it's not completely perfect, and it's really satisfying to get good at being able to like roll through enemies and avoid most of the damage that they do. But yeah, we kind of know where all of the enemies generally start. When they spawn into a room, they always in the same spot. But then we have to react to how they move through the room. So like all of the Octoroks and all of the enemies I just went past are all stuff that you just had to react to. So we found this fellow here. This hat getting bullied by some Octoroks. And this is Eslo. He is going to be our companion for this game. On the Zelda companion like rankings of like how popular he is, he's down there with like Fires being not very popular at all, because he's gonna interrupt us a lot. We call these Eslo triggers, where he has to stop us and say, "Hey, look at that stump there. I bet you could jump on it and I'll be able to turn you small." Yeah, so we're gonna get a lot of spots where we have to talk to him, like here. Please. One of the things with Eslo triggers as well is if you roll into one of them, Link freezes in place for like an extra second before Eslo will actually start talking to him. So we want to make sure that we finish all of our rolls just before we hit the trigger. And now we're a small boy. We're small boy Link, and we're running through some vegetation here, and everything's so big. But we found the Minish. We didn't understand a word that they said. There's a peculiar quirk with how their letters are structured in Japanese, which I don't fully understand because I don't speak Japanese. But basically, we don't understand what they're saying, and we managed to find someone that does speak like Hyrulean. That says, "Oh, you need to grab this nut so that the others can talk to you." So we found that nut, and now we're going to go over to the village elder, who will be able to tell what happened with the Picori blade and what we need to do to fix it. So he says to to reforge the Picori Blade, we need to take it to... well, first we need to collect 4 elements. But then we're also going to need to find a blacksmith called Malari, who's found in the mountains. And he's going to be able to create a new sword for us. But then we're going to have to infuse it with the 4 elements. That's effectively going to be our quest for this game, is collect 4 elements, and then we can have a full-powered sword again. So, time for the first dungeon, Deepwood Shrine. This dungeon is a nice introduction to this game, because what I mentioned before with having to react to enemy movements and doing rolling is 100% of this dungeon. Every room has some enemies or like some kind of type movement that you practice and get better at. So here's the first puzzle of this this dungeon, is this wooden barrel. We're gonna light these torches to make it be able to roll. Yeah, those enemies, we normally get hit by that guy at the top there and get boosted down a little bit, but the angle's not always exactly the same. Please. We're gonna roll this barrel around to there. One of the rooms coming up here has got a lot of enemies in it, and this is pretty much entirely luck-based if we're gonna get owned or not. Okay. I think that Pesto's far enough away that he's not gonna bother us. Oh, he's gonna swing around. I have to kill him. And we're gonna get hit. Okay, that's fine. That was a pretty decent room. Here's another Eslo trigger. You would like to roll down there, but yeah, because of that trigger, you don't want to roll into it by accident. Okay, so here's a small key. Now we head back to the big barrel room, and we're going to head to the other side. So this room's got a bunch of mushrooms that we're going to pull back. We saw we pulled back in previous rooms, but yeah, here we just like look for specific points that we've released the mushroom so that we get across these gaps. Oh, this room has a lot of enemies that are going to move around randomly. We're trying to find a path through here that we can roll through without taking too much damage. Unfortunately, there were quite a lot of them in the way. We're taking a lot of damage. We do have to maintain your health in this dungeon. Okay. Right, there's our next small key. And there is a rupee. Every time we pick up an item for the first time, Link's gonna hold up above his head. It's like, oh cool. Just to be safe, I'm gonna grab a heart after this fight, but this is the dungeon mini-boss. Please. This is the Caterpillar. The optimal way of doing this fight is 2 cycles. And we're gonna get 2 cycles, nice. And we're gonna get the first, like, dungeon item, which is the Gust Jar. This is a really useful weapon item, and that's going to be used throughout the run. I didn't grab the health that I said I was going to grab. Never mind. It's going to be fine. I was too fast. And again, let's wait for it to actually break and then fall down. Stand here. There's an Eslo trigger right here that we're going to walk into. And now it's lily pads. I have to count here. Okay. Yeah, all of this is just counting how many times you use the Gust Jar. yeah, this is a really tricky section. I can't really explain what's going on, but yeah, it takes a lot of practice getting good at this. Anyone who's played this game before will know how awkward the lily pads are to maneuver. Oh, got to use the gust jar again there. Okay, and now we got this little puzzle room here where we're just going to use the gust jar to fling ourselves across these gaps. And we're coming up to the end of the dungeon now. This is going to give us the boss key, and we can go fight the dungeon boss. Right, so this is the first dungeon boss of the game. Is going to be a regular-sized green chew. And, well, we're still Minish, which means that to us, it's gonna be pretty big. The chew boss fights are really simple, but they're, like, just great, thematically to the game. Like, it perfectly encompasses the idea of, like, Link is small, but, like, the regular world is the same size. So yeah, we're going to use the gust jar on its bottom to make it wobble, and then once it's fallen over, then we can start slashing with the sword. So we're going to do this fight in 3 cycles. So this is going to be it falling over the second time. This final cycle is going to jump, and the amount of jumps is going to be random. It's either 1 or 5. We want to hope for 1. Oh, we did get 1. Wow, okay. That saves a couple seconds. And then we can do the fight. GG. And that is... I've managed to pixel perfectly position myself, so Link... Oh, okay, I was 1 pixel off. Never mind. I'm not used to the visual cue anymore. And that is the element. It's the first of the 4 elements, so we're going to collect the Earth element. Right, yeah, so now we're just going to be going back and talking to the village elder and telling him about the element that we just unlocked. And he's pretty much just going to send us on our way to the back to Hyrule Town, where we had the festival earlier. They've finished up the festival. But before we leave, we're going to grab some bombs. One of the classic Zelda items. We don't mind about health here, so we're just going to use the recoil from the bomb to like blast us through openings and speed things up a little bit. We're going to have to come back to this spot later on in the run, so we're going to activate this Wind Crest. This is like a fast travel location. When we get the Ocarina eventually, we will be able to fast travel to that spot. We've got to do a couple things here in town before we head out. We need to be able to collect kinstones in a bag, so we're going to talk to this guy and he's going to give us the kinstone bag. Kinstones are this mechanic that lets us create this... We use a consumable called kinstones that we're going to find throughout the game. And we can go up to NPCs and fuse with them, and they make special things happen in the world. we need to collect 5 kinstones in this run. We're all going to do that in quite a while, so nothing to get worried about right now. But one of the key items that we're going to get is the magic boomerang, and it's very busted. Oh, okay. So we're going to collect kinstones to be able to unlock that, because it's a side quest in the game. There we just learned the spin attack from the dojo. And we're going to do the first glitch in the run. This is called guard skip. And we go stand there, and then we fall off without touching any other ground. And then we respawn. Before the guard gets a chance to move, we just get past him. Now here's another glitch there called roll lifting, where we like rolled and dropped a bomb at the same time, with a 1 frame difference between it. And it makes the bomb have a shorter fuse time. So we're going to try and do that in places throughout the run, but it's a frame perfect trick, so we're not going to get it all the time. So this is Mount Crenel, and oh yeah, I didn't really talk about rupees that much. Okay, but we need to buy some things now. Like we just bought a bottle from the guy earlier, which we got from like Link's house. There was a red rupee in there, which was 20. That cave we just did gave us 15. We got 5 from the very beginning of the run by doing the RNG manipulation, so we're on 21 right now because of the green rupee we picked up earlier. And there's we just went past a red rupee, and we're going to pick that up, and that's going to give us 40 rupees total for this guy. And 40 is the amount we need to buy the next upgrade, which is the grip ring. It's going to let us climb the walls here. And then that should be good for us rupee-wise. There we go. So yeah, we just needed to collect some Mountain Dew, this green water here in a bottle. And at the beginning of this area, we bottled some regular water and watered a blue bean to make it grow. And here there's going to be a green bean, so obviously we need to pour the green water on it. Oh, okay, get that. Get it, Mountain Dew, because there's like dew found on the mountain, and it's green. Look, the quality of the jokes in this run is only going to diminish from this point on. So now we're going to water this bean. Right, now we're in the upper section of Mount Crenel. There's a bunch of enemies here we have to avoid, and then we're going to grab this mushroom up here and just do a little skip like that. Nice. Nice, really good RNG bomb drop there. It's not super vital that we get that, but it's always nice to get. Here we do that, and then hopefully there's going to be there is no P-Hat over here. Brilliant. That P-Hat can get in the way and block at the entrance if he's mean. Alright, time to get the hand in the grip, the money for the grip ring there. And it's now time for the Crenel Climb. It should be pretty good on health here. There are rocks that are going to fall down this wall, and we don't want to get hit by any, ideally. But there's not much we can do if they decide to come towards us. Getting hit by like 1 is pretty average. It's either like 0 or 1. It's very rare to get hit by more than that. Right here, we hope this guy doesn't get in our way. That's good. Hop across. Nice. Those enemies there can be mean and hit us whilst we're pulling that back and make us lose quite a bit of time. But we don't want to go out of our way killing them. Right, so these water droplets are so big because we're tiny that it's they're going to hit us with the strength of a boulder and deal damage. So luckily we managed to get through there without taking any damage. So here's quite a slow boulder pushing section. This general area is very slow, so like here's a great spot for dodos and other things. I don't really have too much to say about this part. Yeah. Honestly, so much at the beginning of the game, I was just like filling with waffle. There's not much to say. The beginning of this game is a little bit boring, but it completely makes up for it in the later half of the game. It's so much stuff going on. So yeah, like, fill all of this time with donations and stuff, because you're not going to have time later on. There's too much going on that we're going to have to talk about and explain. Nice, we got the swag kill on that guy whilst we jumped across. Right, we're nearing the end of this section. We're going to shrink down and go into these caves, and then we're just going to have a bunch of cutscenes. I didn't take any damage. The only damage I took was the falling boulder, and then a ton in like the base because I sucked and kept on going into one of the guys. Okay, right, now we're done with this, we're going to enter the second dungeon. I'm going to be safe here and I'm going to grab some health. The beginning of every dungeon has pots that have health in them. That's the first time we had to pick up some health, so gave us a health pickup text box for the first time. Please don't. Please. So this dungeon is going to be heavily broken in the second half. The first half is pretty straightforward and it's going to be what you would expect in a like a regular playthrough. We're just going to ride this minecart for the first time. But this is going to be the last time that we ride the minecart. I mean, well, this minecart. We'll ride another minecart in a little bit. I didn't need that bomb drop because I already picked one. this room's pretty luck-based and got lucky. Except this guy is not doing anything. That is bizarre, that he just didn't do anything. That lost a lot of time. I don't know why that guy just wasn't moving. It's like he was blind and couldn't see me. Normally he just aggroes to me, but never mind. We got really good starting out luck, and then, yeah. So there's another Minish section here. And then we'll be coming up to a set of really cool glitches called angle retention. I should probably start explaining it now whilst we're doing this section. So when you jump out of a hole, the game decides to give you a diagonal angle value. Normally, if like you see I'm moving diagonally here, Link is only like facing like left or right or up or down. Like it's not like he can't actually like face in a diagonal direction. That's different when you're jumping out of a hole. Link, even though his sprite will be looking left, right, up or down, he will actually have the diagonal angle stored in memory. And that is going to let us interact with objects and pull and push them diagonally. Now, the game doesn't check for collision properly when we're pulling objects diagonally. It assumes that if we are pulling an object and Link can move, then obviously you're not going to pull the object into a wall because you're pulling the object onto where Link originally was. So we're going to pull this object, this pillar here, just out of bounds. And we're going to delete the loading zone for this door by doing so. And we're going to pull it back inbounds because it's got a small key level 1. Now the loading zone's been destroyed, we can go out of bounds, and we're going to head to a later section of the dungeon. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the out of bounds setup. We're going to go hit another loading zone over here, and boom. That is called angle retention, and that is a pretty big skip. Saves like 2 minutes. And that is a cool fight there. We got the Spiky Chew fight. That's a really fun one to learn. And because we managed to by doing that out of bounds movement, we skipped a small key door. So we managed to skip one of the small keys that we would have to backtrack for normally, and it saves quite a bit of time. So we discovered another trick in this basement that I'm not going to show off, unfortunately. We routed it out, and it's a really cool trick, but it only saves 5 seconds. It actually loses 5 seconds over what we currently do. And it would do things in a completely different order. We would actually leave the dungeon now and continue with the game, and come back to this dungeon at a later point. In future speedruns, we may do it if more discoveries get found. But in the meantime, we're going to skip the basement through another method that was discovered. This is the second angle retention of this dungeon. Oh, that is, yeah, typical. And here's where we did the angle retention. So we're putting these guys in place here to let us clip out of bounds through this wall here, like so. And we're up on layer 2, so we're above the top of all of the walls and stuff. And we can just skip all of the lava basement and go directly to the boss. And we grab a fairy there, because that's going to be useful in a couple minutes. But yeah, this is Gleerok. This is the second boss of the game. So yeah, that's Cave of Flames, really cool. New discoveries since the last marathon appearance of this game. This boss is very straightforward. It's just hit its back 3 times to make it vulnerable, and then just hit it. There's not much to say. There's Gleeroks on the walls. There's little icons of Gleerok. There's a bigger one over there. I don't know what else to say. Yeah, no, they are Gleeroks. Yeah, this boss literally is like a very zero threat auto-scroller that is not an issue. You just have to wait it out, really. Interesting. Alright, so that's the second dungeon done. And we're gonna get to the fire element. So now we're going to continue the story by, we talked to Malari, who was the blacksmith in the mines, before this dungeon. He said to come back when we collected the element, because he will finish the sword for us. So we're going to go upgrade our sword to the green sword. And he basically tells us here that we need to go to the Elemental Sanctuary to upgrade our swords so that we've got, we get new, like, abilities to basically be able to create clones to solve puzzles. And we need that to be able to progress to the next section of the of the game. However, we're going to do a glitch here that is going to let us skip having to upgrade our sword right now and do it a bit later. This is called Crenel Clip. And I'm not going to explain it, I'm just going to let it explain itself. So, we're just manipulating this guy. Nice, first try. Yeah, so we use that to, like, yeet ourselves off the mountain. And we're now out of bounds, and we're gonna do some funky stuff in the loading zones here. I'm gonna go for a YOLO trick here called McYeehaw. It didn't work. I'm always gonna go for... I'm gonna go for that in the marathon as well, but, it's a 50-50 whether or not you get through or not. If you don't get it, then you just roll through to here and go around a longer way. If you get it, it saves 3 seconds, but if you don't get it, it loses like 12 to 15. So it's not worth out for a coin toss, but you know, it's fun. I forgot to switch my stuff on my menu. I normally have bombs on I need to remember with that. Yeah, so we had to read a sign there. That sign's normally reachable if you are able to make clones. So we managed to skip having to upgrade our sword to read that sign. That sign starts this quest here, which lets us get the boots. We need the boots to be able to get across the swamp. To get to the next dungeon. We don't need the boots. A few months ago, a new discovery was found that lets us get across the swamp without the boots, but it's slower. And pretty much TAS only. So there is now a low percent that is different to any percent that will not get the boots. As of making this video, this submission video, I haven't done a recording of that new route yet, but it is on my to-do list for this game to make a LOTAD demonstration of that like any percent route. Oh yeah, back in that dungeon, back in Cave of Flames, we picked up 50 rupees as well. It was just one of the things that we did with the chest. We're gonna use the money that we got from that to buy a mushroom to wake up the guy so that we can get the boots. So yeah, all of this section is rather slow. So the fact that it's still even slower to do the swamp without the boots, even if you can cut all of this stuff out, just tells you how slow getting across the swamp without the boots is. It's basically, like, how it actually works is it's a bunch of bomb boosts. So we hold bombs above our head as we go across the swamp water to boost us across. But also we need to manipulate enemies to get in the way and hit us as well, to give us damage boosts in the right direction. But yeah, so there's the wake up mushroom, and we're gonna go give that to the smith, or the, not the smith, the shoe shop guy here, and he's gonna give us the boots. Again, this is just like a bit of a dead section where nothing's going on. We were just doing a fetch quest there, as part of the story. And now we're going to go to the swamp. Now the swamp's pretty busted. There's a lot of crazy stuff that we're going to do in a bit. But the first thing we need to do is we're going to go and get the bow and arrow. That's going to be useful for the next dungeon and for various other things throughout the run. So we're just going to head straight there. Normally, you would want to collect these golden kinstones that are scattered around this area to be able to wake up these statues so that you can get to the next dungeon. We're not going to do that. We're going to do probably the most infamous trick of the run in the new version of this run, called Hyrule Clip. And we'll do it as soon as, like, I will collect some kinstones as well from the swamp before I head over and do that. And that's all going to start right now. So this is a really complex section that I'm really not going to be able to speak much during it. Hey, how's it going? Sorry for the splice in the video here. The run I was doing had to get cut short, so I am continuing on from this point here. Yeah, so as I explained just now, we just got the bow and we did a saving quest, and then I'll be continuing the run from this point on. So let's do this. Yeah, so as I was saying, I'm going to do a set of manipulations here. So we get one here, get a second kinstone here, a third, and we're going to cross our fingers for a fourth. Nope, never mind. We'll just do a little bit of a backup here just to get that fourth kinstone. So we'll do the same thing again. This is a spare kinstone that we don't need, but the real fourth one that we wanted to get was this one. Here we go. Perfect. Okay. That's very consistent to back up. If, yeah, we don't get all four in the first try, we can just do that. Never mind. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to manipulate a P-hat in the north area to be in a very specific spot. I don't know if that's going to work. Maybe. Yeah, this should work. Okay, perfect. Cool. And now we're going to do Hyrule Clip. Oh my god, I killed him. I was being too greedy there. I am very rusty at this trick. Oh, that rope did not move in the right direction. This is not good. These work? Okay. Okay, we are good. We got the guy up the top. That's the thing we care about. Getting him up here. Now it should be the easy part, which is just, we're going to move him into a corner. We're going to use him to clip out of bounds. That was mildly terrifying. He's not supposed to bounce like that, and if he does, it's a chance to, like, kill the trick. Okay. Perfect, and we're through. So we used him to avoid having to, like, change our layer collision. So we're technically, like, up on the second layer, up where the bridges are. And that's just gonna let us avoid doing, like, having to do any of the swamp area and any of this wind ruins. We can just do this, and bam, we're in the next dungeon already. So, this is Fortress of Winds. There's going to be a lot of RNG manipulations that we're going to be doing here. This is like the real meat of the run here, where we're just doing RNG manipulations back to back. So this one's called Lever Clip, because we're going to clip into a Armos to get a to be able to pull a lever. So I'm doing a precise, like, rolls in every single one of these rooms to make sure that RNG stays at the same value. Or at a value that we want it to be at. This room here. Never mind. Okay. I didn't get the trick, but I'm just going to do this cheeky little back up there called Armos Clip, where we're just going to use him to break into a block. So we would pull the lever that's behind that Armos there, but because I didn't get the trick, I'm just going to do this little back up here, where we're going to wake this guy up and do it the intended way. So that only loses like 10 seconds if you fail that. This is why we took some extra time back in the swamp to get an extra kinstone. We were supposed to get a kinstone from that guy, but we're just being safe here, and we got the kinstone earlier, so we don't need to do any sort of manipulations in here, which could be really difficult. Can this guy get out of the way? Thank you. I've not seen that Stalfos like go on that little path and get in the way before. That's new to me. Alright, so here's going to be a Dark Nut fight. I'm going to hope for a bonk. He didn't decide to dash. Please. Okay, he's not going to give us good RNG. We're just going to grab some refills here. And now we're going to get the dungeon item, which is the Molmits. The Molmits are going to be very useful for doing a glitch in the second half of this dungeon. So we're going to grab the mitts here, and we're going to set up for another RNG manipulation. We're going to go back to that same Armos room again, because there was a portal there, and that portal is going to be really useful with the mitts. We can use a glitch called portal items to break out through one of the walls up onto the second layer and walk directly to the boss. But we want to get the Armos to go into the spot the same way every single time, so we're doing an RNG manipulation here. We're also grabbing a kinstone there, because that's going to be useful in a little bit as well. Yeah, I thought you might do that. That's fine. We can manually manipulate this guy over into here, like this. Never mind. Okay, and now this is portal items. And we use a bomb boost to just push us up the wall. I'm gonna grab some health before we go and fight the boss. And that is the dungeon over. Really cool little dungeon we got there. Right, now for a classic Nintendo boss, it is Mazao, who is a hands with eyes. Like the actual theming and mechanics of this fight is pretty cool and interesting for a Zelda boss. It's definitely one of the more unique ones where it's you do actually have to use shrinking to go inside of its head, as well as using the items that you've acquired recently. So we just got the bow and we just got the bombers. We're going to be using those to beat this boss. So the pillars in this room are never the same two patterns in a row. So it's not that bottom left pillar, because it was there the first time around. And unfortunately it was the last pillar we looked at. Yeah, okay, I'm just in a really bad... That was not a good head. That was pretty bad RNG. Something I didn't mention before, but when we picked up the... since we're using the bow, we are using the boots with the bow every single time. We can animation cancel the putting away of the bow animation by using the boots directly after the arrow releases from the bow, and it just cuts out some of the animation time and makes it way faster to use the bow, because it can be really restrictive and Link just stays there for a really long time after you fire the bow. Ooh. Right, we're just going to grab this heart container. Oh no! Oh fuck, I missed it. That was intended. I don't need to get that heart container. I will be intentionally getting to low health here, because we need to do a death abuse in a little bit. Because this is not it's not a Zelda speedrun unless you do a death abuse at one point in the run. So here we go. We were getting some green kinstones back in the swamp not that long ago. The reason why we were getting them is so that we can fuse with the Tingle Brothers. If you fuse with all of the Tingle Brothers, they open up all of these trees here by Hyrule Castle, and this will let you get the Magic Boomerang. The Magic Boomerang is going to be really useful in the next dungeon coming up. So we're going to get that before we head to that dungeon. The next dungeon coming up is Temple of Droplets, which does require the flippers to be able to swim to it because it's in the middle of Lake Hylia. However, we're not going to swim there, and that is the reason why we're going to be using a Death Abuse to get to there. The Death Abuse is going to let us open a door without actually going through the door. And one of the items we just picked up now was the Ocarina. We can use the Ocarina on open doorways to get the Ocarina glitch. The Ocarina glitch is very powerful, and one of the things it lets us do is walk over water. So that's going to be extremely useful. So we're just taking our time now to go and do a couple of fusions. I just did a red kinstone fusion with that guy there. That's going to open up the dungeon after Temple of Droplets, Palace of Winds. Okay, so after fusing with this guy, we are going to require a more powerful sword to get to the next Tingle guy. So, we need to go to the castle and upgrade our sword. This is a section of the game that we skipped earlier. After we got the fire elements, we were supposed to come to the castle to upgrade our sword like this, but this is why we did a Crenel Clip, to skip having to do that right now, and we can do it at this point instead. There are two cutscenes that get skipped, that when we skipped grabbing the sword at that time. We're gonna watch one of them shortly, but the other one is like gonna be completely skipped. We're never gonna watch it. This cutscene that we completely skipped is a cutscene that moves the guards to block off the courtyard area. So for the rest of this run, we do not need to go through the guard section and try and dodge the guards, which is really nice. We can just keep on going through the front door. Right, here's our red sword. So the reasons why we come and upgrade our sword is because it gives us the cloning ability. It lets us create copies of Link like this to solve puzzles. So the next dungeon we're going to do is Temple of Droplets, and we do need the red sword in order to hit some of the switches in that dungeon. However, you wouldn't see the world record doing that. The world record does a far more difficult set of glitches to be able to beat that dungeon without having to create any clones. But it is not very marathon safe, so you won't be seeing it here. Alright, so we're gonna do a fusion with this Tingle guy, and then there's one guy left who's the pink one. We do want to damage down, because we are going to death abuse in a bit. Here we get a myth slip. That dash there was actually really precise. There is an Eslo trigger that we narrowly avoided by mere pixels. Okay, and this is going to be the last fusion that we do. We managed to get, we do 5 fusions, and it's all in this section here. So yeah, now we're going to go and get the magic boomerang. We need to go into all of those trees and hit some switches. Get that one. I always forget which side the switch is on. Okay, so here we're going to need to actually watch the cutscene that we skipped earlier. This cutscene only spawns when you have the red sword in your inventory. And this is a double omelet fight. And very nice quick kill there. So yeah, this cutscene is just some backstory to the game. We get the origins of Vati gaining all of his powers, and also the origins of Eslo. Eslo, our companion, was originally a Minish before he got turned into a hat by Vati. This is the last switch here. When we get the boomerang, we're going to walk back to the lake, And at the lake, we're going to go and do the death abuse that I mentioned on the dog house. But first we need to damage down off of this guy to get it down to a half heart at least. Okay, get some things there. Equip bombs, and I'm just going to do a safety save here because if there is a chance that you can die here, and we would need to retry this. To use this, we're just doing a little setup here to die as we open the door. Perfect. And now we're going to do the Ocarina glitch. Perfect, first try. And yes, the Ocarina glitch is now going to let us walk over water and walk all the way to the dungeon entrance. Then we just play the Ocarina before going and shrinking into the dungeon. So this is the next dungeon. Temple of Droplets. It combines the least favourite kind of dungeon, two kinds of dungeons. It's a water dungeon and it is an ice dungeon. Luckily we're not going to spend that much time here, and it's really not that bad of a dungeon. I need to get an Ocarina glitch here, but I'm going to hit the switch first before I do that. So the beginning of this dungeon, we're just going to do two things. We're going to grab two keys. We're going to grab a big key and a small key, both from ice blocks. There we go. Get another Ocarina glitch off that door. One of the things Ocarina glitch also allows us to do is when we raise our layer by walking up a set of stairs, we won't go back down again unless we roll down the stairs. Or basically, whenever we roll, Link is interactable with the thing on the floor that he's standing over. But if he's not doing that and he's just walking normally, he's not going to interact with it. That's generally the rules of how Ocarina glitch works. Yeah, so we can find a staircase like that, raise ourselves up onto a higher elevation, and then walk all the way over all of the walls and everything. Okay, so here's the boss key. We'll go back and grab that small key that we were missing, get another Ocarina glitch, and then we're going to make use of the boomerang that we just collected. The boomerang, when we use it on the big door, is going to let us not transition through the doorway as we open the big door. And that's going to let us walk out of bounds. More so, it's going to be completely off the screen, out of bounds, rather than just like over the top of walls. And when we do that, we'll be able to skip about half the dungeon. Let's get the key first. Alright, so I'm going to come up the stairs without playing the Ocarina, and then we'll do an Ocarina glitch here. Unfortunately, didn't get it. Ocarina glitch is a frame perfect trick, by the way. You do need to press up and then Ocarina one frame after. If you press Ocarina too early, you play the Ocarina. If you press the Ocarina too late, you walk down the stairs. And generally with this trick, you either get it first try or you get it like 20th try. There we go. Okay, this is going to be the boss door clip. I'm going to be doing a bit of a funky setup here. Do some movement off screen here. I wasn't supposed to roll there, please work. Okay, I was very lucky. That was... yeah. I did some weird movement off screen there that I wasn't supposed to do, but it still worked. That setup is sub-pixel precise, by the way, so I was very surprised that it worked. Not only that I did it off screen blind, but I also messed it up, but still managed to recover. That was very lucky. That is the Caneless setup, yeah. The Caneless setup is more consistent. Because, the cane one you're relying on pure luck, whereas the one with the boots that I just did there doesn't require any luck as long as you do the inputs correctly. I did the inputs incorrectly because I have rusty and I'm not practiced. Okay, so we hit one switch there. We need to hit both of the switches in that room to be able to unlock the boss. So we're going to skip the second half of the dungeon now with a Ocarina glitch here, if I can get it. There we go. And we're just going to walk over all of the dungeon here. This is a really cool like path that we're going to take through the dungeon. And we just skipped to the second half of the dungeon. We're right at the end now. So this is one of the longest dungeons in the game. It is just as long as Dark Hyrule Castle if you do not include the final boss fight. And we managed to skip just so much of it. We went to barely any of the rooms in comparison. So yeah, now we've opened the path to the boss. We can go and fight the boss right now. However, we can't actually beat the boss because we need the lantern to do that. So we're going to go out of our way just now to go and grab the lantern from the mini-boss. As you can see, these cutscenes with the switches are pretty long, so the world record route that manages to skip these cutscenes does save a substantial amount of time. Boots on ice is so nice. I'm just going to leave that there. Basically, the boots freezes our momentum as we as we start using them. It doesn't like Link won't continue to slide. He'll just like stop on the spot and start dashing directly the direction that you're facing. So yeah, ice physics become really trivial when you've got the boots, which is really nice. Nice physics. But yeah, this is the blue tube. So just like the first boss that we fought at the end of the Try, that was the green tube. This is a regular-sized blue tube that is electrified. But of course we're Minish, so we're going to have to do our little strats here to beat him. This fight is also known as Big Chew 2, Electric Boogaloo. Okay. Okay, and on to the third and final wave. Cool. I mentioned at the end of the first time we fought the boss that it either jumps once or 5 times. And in the Blue Chew fight we wanted to jump once, which we got. But in this we wanted to jump 5 times, because the 5-time jump is perfectly timed with however long it's electrified, which means it's vulnerable as soon as it finishes its 5th jump. But yeah, now we got the lantern, we're going to be doing an RNG manipulation here to get the to fight the final boss of this dungeon. So this is called Octo Minute, and effectively the first 2 stages of this boss are the turbines. They're exactly the same every single time. But the 3rd cycle is RNG based, and we're doing this RNG manipulation to give us the best final cycle. I'm gonna assume that's fine. I believe I should have done 3 rolls there, but we'll see. So to know how the RNG is progressing, we look at the rocks as they fall. This is perfect. Yeah, okay. We're gonna do 3 rolls as soon as it starts moving. And we're gonna get 3 rocks now. 2 and 3. Perfect fight. And that is the Octo Quick Kill. With the Octo Minute. And that is Temple of Droplets done. Yeah, as we beat each of these dungeons, like directly afterwards is normally like a section of not much going on. So it's like we get to get like a few donations or something in during this time. It's not too much to explain. Just story stuff's happening. We're told to go to the graveyard. We're not going to go to the graveyard. Yes, so in order to get to the next dungeon, normally in a regular playthrough of the game, you would go to the graveyard, and you would get a kinstone which lets you go up Vale Falls Waterfall, and that would take you to Cloud Tops. And then as you go through Cloud Tops, you get to the top of that, and you get to the Wind Tribe. We've already opened a portal to the Wind Tribe. Now, in this state of the game, we're only limited to a small section of that building, and aren't supposed to be able to get any higher up in the building. Except we can use the Ocarina glitch to just walk through some of the NPCs that are blocking us, and just skip through to the top section of that. And we can go directly to the next dungeon, Palace of Winds. Yeah, this run is no golden kinstones. There's only some green ones, a red one, and we got a blue one at the beginning, which we didn't exactly want, but we can't skip it. Yeah, so this is the blue sword, which lets us create an extra clone. At the beginning of the next dungeon, there is one room that we need to use this to clone, this extra clone to push a block. If we find a way of skipping that, we can kind of like break open the whole like method that we approach this and really change up every single dungeon order. Because so far, all of the dungeons have been in order. But yeah. So we're going to go through this portal that we created here. And we're up in the Wind Tribe. As you can see, there are NPCs blocking these doorways, and just with a simple Ocarina glitch, without walking down the stairs, interesting. Interesting, okay. I'm surprised I'm walking up. I'm as close to the door as I can get. Should not be able to walk up. There we go. Yeah, this trick is either first try or 10th try. I'm really bad at Ocarina glitches today. I got the Lake House one first try, and then I got like it's taken so long to get any of the other ones. Like the one in Lake House is the hardest one. Wow, okay. I don't understand what I'm doing differently. Yeah. Okay, it is accepting my Ocarina input. This is just bizarre. This is getting annoying now. Like, I've never taken this many tries to do this. What on earth is actually going on? Hello? What? I'm very confused now. Is something wrong? Okay. I changed how I was doing my inputs there, and it worked. So that's just confusing. I might have been pressing my side direction too early and making it not work. Again, I'm rusty. That's a very simple trick that can be fixed through practice. Okay, Palace of Winds. This is a really fun dungeon if the enemies don't all get in the way and make it awful. Please leave me alone. This first room is awful, everyone hates it, but like as soon as, like after this room, the whole dungeon is just so much fun. Oh my, please leave me alone. But yeah, like Palace of Winds, every single one of these rooms is extremely fun. We're going to do a bunch of crazy stuff as well to break so much of the dungeon. Here we're going to just get set on fire intentionally, and it lets us move extra fast. We're going to do a fight here where we're not going to use the sword at all, we're actually going to use the lantern. The lantern one-shots these wizrobes, so we're going to use that and bombs to kill everything as they spawn. And very nice fight. That's so much fun to learn. Please no. Okay, so this jump here is called Dream Jump. And it's going to let us skip this floor. Like so. And we jumped, and we skipped a bunch of extra rooms, and can skip this floor. That is way easier than it looks. The setup we have there is incredibly consistent. And now for another trick. This is called Stair Clip. This is another very recent trick. It was discovered less than a year ago. We are going to use the bow and get to a precise position here. Like so. And then do a boot dash, and we managed to boot dash through the corner of a stair and pretty much avoid the layer change. Very similar to like what we did in P-Hack Clip earlier. And yeah, we can skip a bunch of things on this floor. There was a bunch of really slow platforms that we would have to ride on that floor that we just get to skip. And we're grabbing a small key that's going to be useful in a second. Now, we're going to do another glitch here called Warble Hop. We're doing angle retention that we did back in the second dungeon, but we're just using it on a hole that we would spring out of with the cane, and we get a diagonal jump like that, which is pretty cool. I'm gonna go for this next trick once. If I don't get it first try, I'm gonna continue on. I'm facing up. No, okay. I'll try one more time. That guy is in the way. Sorry, screw this. I'm not doing it. That would let us do an out of bounds there to skip a couple of these rooms. Optimally, it saves 1 second if you get first try. But it's insanely precise. It's not worth doing. It's exactly the same glitch that we would do in the world record run in Temple of Droplets to be able to break into Octo. And yeah, it's frame perfect, and it's not something I'm wanting to do here. Okay, so we do a little quick kill on those guys, and we miss the key mid-air. I am not a gamer. So we jumped across the room there to grab the key as it drops, but I missed it because I suck at this game. There we go. Okay. Right, so now we're at the top of the dungeon. This is the halfway point of the dungeon, except we're just going to go directly to the boss now by doing another boss door flip. This time we're going to use the lantern instead of the magic boomerang, but it works exactly the same way. And we're up on layer 2 now because of the screen transitions that we did. And because we're at the very top of the dungeon, instead of falling down to the bottom and going through the second half, we're just going to go out of bounds and continue straight to the teleport. The tornado, and go to the boss. So this is Gleerok, which is the boss of this dungeon. This boss is just make clones and then slash the eyes down on its back. So the eyes spawn in random patterns, but when we create our clones like that, it hits every single pattern, so it's fine. Then we need to, yeah, we ride the blue Gleerok like that and hit his eye. There is only a max amount of damage that we can do per cycle that we're trying to hit, and then we can move on. Yeah, ideally we're trying to get that with the spin attack so that it like one-shots it. This is a random stage of the fight where we don't know where the blue Gleerok's going to be. He's going to go high or low. He's going low there. Nice. Cool. Jump into his back, and then charge a spin attack. Very nice. Final cycle. Unfortunately, we didn't get good luck there. If all of the eyes are together, we can do a single spin attack to hit all of them, instead of having to create clones, but we took the extra like second or two there to make our clones. Overall, good fight. Okay, and that's all of the dungeons done, and we got the 4 elements that we were tasked to do with this game. So now it's time to go and do the final dungeon, Dark Hyrule Castle. We're going to go to the Sanctuary and unlock our final sword upgrade as well. So there's going to be a long section here of not much going on. I would say for the next, like, 4 minutes or so. Yeah, we're gonna go watch a bunch of cutscenes, so now's the perfect time for anyone to go and have any restroom breaks or go and grab a drink and get up and stretch. We've been going for an hour and 20 odd minutes now. Oh. Yeah, so we got about a minute long cutscene here. We're just going to be watching the intro again. Oh no, I reset. Oh. Oh no, I reset. We're back at the beginning. That he was the king this whole time? But we didn't see the cutscene that happened. That doesn't make any sense at all. So here we're actually going to do a bunch of glitches right now. So like this first room here, we're going to be doing a glitch called cutscene walking. Except I am terrible at this game, and I messed it up. I was a pixel too low. And then I started moving too quickly as well. So, yeah, cutscene walking would let us walk. Right now, Link is frozen and unable to do anything. We would normally be able to walk around and hit all of these guys back to back instead of like, getting frozen. Only loses like 10 seconds before not getting it. Now, we're going to be doing another stair clip right now. This one is a bit jank because there is a moblin in the way here. He ruined the setup. Please, please, please do not keep hitting me. That is awful. Took so much damage off. Okay, we got it first try. If he hits you, it ruins the setup that we do, and it becomes luck-based, whether or not you're gonna work, whether or not it's gonna work. And it's pretty much a coin toss, 50-50, whether or not it works or it doesn't. So we got lucky there. So yeah, this is Dark Hyrule Castle. We are going to need to collect 4 small keys before we can get the big key. Oh yeah, there's this cool trick that we do here. Instead of creating clones, we just use a bomb there. So we're going to grab a small key here. And then we're going to heavily use Ocarina Glitch to break this dungeon and do it in completely unintended order. Please don't hit me. Thank you. We did leave and exit the dungeon, leave and re-enter the dungeon to set our save quit location so that when we save and quit, we'll get put at this spot here. Here we're going to do another Ocarina glitch. Now we're going to make use of the Ocarina glitch with this staircase here to be able to walk up and over all of the walls. There we go. Now this dungeon is basically a big square, and in each of the corners of the square there is a tower, and we're in the bottom left tower right now. And at the top of all of the towers there's a small key. So we're basically going to do that, and that's the way like you think about and navigate through this dungeon. So we just did the bottom left tower, we're now going to go to the bottom right tower. Also, yeah, so we're going to do exactly the same thing that we just did a couple moments ago. Do an Ocarina glitch, and go up to the staircase and use that to get out of bounds. Going up the stairs like that stair animation kills the Ocarina glitch, so we're going to have to get it an additional time right now, because we want to... we're going to continue through this dungeon backwards, but using Ocarina glitches to jump over doors. So we're going to do an Ocarina glitch here. We're going to jump over this door here, like so. And we're going to do it a second time in this room. Do a couple hops there to try and hop through the door. Here we go. And now we kill these guys. Perfect fight. This is going to be our last use of bombs. We're going to use them on here. And because we got Ocarina glitch still, we can just walk over all of the terrain here. Do a funky strat there to land on the platform. You know what, screw, I'll grab some arrows just in case. All of the damage I've taken in this dungeon was that moblin right at the start, but I'm just going to do that to get healed. Now a quick kill. Perfect. Okay, we're on 3 small keys. The boss key is in the room above us, but we do want to get one final small key. So we're going to go to the top right tower, so we're going to exit down, go right and go up. We're going to fight some Dark Nuts first before we do that. Those are the last random Dark Nut fight that we have to do in the fight, in the game. From this point on, we're going to be doing a... when I get the next chest, we're going to be doing a very long and convoluted RNG manipulation for the, hopefully, the rest of the game, all the way through the final boss fights. Please. Okay. Okay, I'm not going to be able to speak much, because I do need to focus a lot on performing the RNG manipulation. There will be some sections where I'll be able to explain, like, stuff that does happen. 1, 2, 3... Here's the boss key, and now we're going to go to the big boss door that we went by earlier. 2 additional rolls. 1, 2. And now we're going to go and skip this guy, which is going to dash right through him. The next room is really complex and very tight on a lot of the movements. That was perfect. Gonna do a bonk here to activate both of these cutscenes simultaneously. And... one, 2. Perfect. That blue rupee drop means that I need to do 2 RNG calls. That was really nice that dropped. That's a really good visual cue for me. I wasn't sure. That was a really scuffed Dark Knight fight, but they went perfect. Well, I mean, it wasn't perfect. It could have gone nicer, but it was lucky that we're still got the RNG manipulation going right now. Yeah. So this is Vati 1. There are going to be 3 Vati fights. This is all RNG manipulated to give favorable patterns. Ah, it's too late. Damn it. That is the hardest part of the whole fight. I have to do a... I've got a 7-frame window to to use the Gust Jar, but I missed it. Okay, that was Vati 1 over. Now we're going to go into Vati 2. Unfortunately, the RNG manipulation is dead, so this boss is going to be pure luck-based. This is one of the most difficult sections of the entire game. And normally we would like to have an RNG manipulation to make this go consistently, but I have no promises of how this fight's going to go. Okay, we're on the final cycle now. I just need to do another spin attack on him. That was very unfortunate. He fired all of the purple spikes in my direction. And he killed my clones instantly. This is unfortunately how this fight goes sometimes. Very, very unfortunate fight. Can you move? Can you stop doing that? Dude. Dude. Unfortunately, this is one of the worst fights I've had. Oh my goodness. Okay. Very disappointing fight here. This is about twice as long as it would normally take. Yeah, unfortunate. The vast majority of what happened there is completely luck-based, and unfortunately I don't have much control over that. Unfortunately, we're not going to get a sub 140. This run was overall horrifically bad. I'm putting an estimate of sub 140 because I can easily do that. I lost like 7 minutes just to weird, bizarre stuff that is never going to happen. Yeah. I was consistently getting 135s on every single run I was doing back in like November last year. And this is literally like a D-Rust run. Nice. Why? This boss is completely luck-based as well. There's no RNG manipulation you can do for this boss fight. The Minish portal that we stand on here, all of the sparkles it does changes the RNG every single frame, which means it's completely unfeasible to make any kind of RNG manipulation. So you're just having to rely on luck every single time with this boss. And I'm someone who is notoriously known for having incredibly bad luck on this boss. Yeah. Okay, so that was all of the luck stage gone. I had very bad luck there. But now this is the tennis stage of the fight. And as always, he fires electricity instead of shooting blue orbs. There we go. Okay, so yeah, this is the final stage of the fight, and we deflected one volley of orbs back to him and hit him. When we do it the third time, that's going to be time. So this is the second time, and I'll be calling time in the next like 15 seconds. And time. Yeah. Really unfortunate run. I did lose just like minutes just to standing at a doorway and not being able to do Ocarina glitch, which is just bizarre and honestly a bit surprising because I got it first try on so many things, but then some places I was just like, it just wasn't it. And also some of the RNG manipulations were horrendously bad and I failed multiple times in a row. It's like the P-hat as well. But yeah, like, I have absolutely no doubts in my mind that I will be able to get way below a 140. Like, I'm as I said, at the end of last year, I was consistently getting, like, 135s every single run. I'm just incredibly, I'm just de-rusting right now. It is first week of April right now. Marathon's going to be in July. I'm practice non-stop from this point on. I'm absolutely going to be able to smash a sub 140 for sure. So the estimate is a 140. But yeah, that is the Legend of Zelda Minish cap any percent. We have discovered a bunch of new glitches that I managed to show off for you here. That has saved about 10 minutes over the last major appearance that it was. Like, at Games Done Quick 2019, Quo did a run in 151, and this is 10 minutes faster, and this wasn't a particularly good run. But yeah, that's it from me. Yeah, world record's down at 127. It does do a different route that is like several minutes faster. People who are doing this route that I'm doing have managed to get like 131s. I have a 134. And various other people are like in the 133, 34 range as well. It's incredibly difficult to get a time at that range, but yeah, like I have no doubts that the marathon can absolutely be down in like the 138 range, but we'll put a 140 estimate in just in case.